Today on my channel planner, friends, we're going to do an old-fashioned plan with me times two. I use these two planners in tandem, and I did a little bit of research. So I wanted to talk to you about, and I talk about different things about self-esteem, raising you up, and so forth. So I did a little bit of work, and I'm going to give you 6 ways to really feel better about yourself, your place in this world, etc. So I'm going to show you some stickers I just got recently, and we're going to plan, and I'm going to chatter. So pull up a cup of something. I have my requisite cup of hot tea. I've got my candle, and let's dive in, friends. Please stay tuned. Hello there, planner friends, and welcome to my channel. I'm One Crafty Dolo. I'm so happy you're here with me today. Thank you. Thank you for taking time, spending it together with me. This week, I decided on Wednesday, I did a plan with me in my classic happy planner. Tonight, for tonight's video, and yes, I'm filming this late, I need to do this one, my mini HP, and a little bit in my pocket planner for next week. I'm really trying to hone in and get really super organized before we head into June and so forth. So let's dive in, shall we? If you're new, you're welcome to join my growing community. I have the most wonderful subscribers. They comment, they like. It's really turning into something lovely, and I'm quite proud of that, actually. If you're returning and you are a subscriber, thank you. Hello. I appreciate you so much. So I grabbed some things. I want to show you a few things. So I grabbed my ink because I'm inking in my happy planner this month. I see I put this on wrong, so let's try this again. I went on Mercari. I do look at different things. I sold something recently, and I was just looking and eyeballing Mercari. I've been on a kick to use some of my older sticker books, and I came across this old one, the Glam Girl one, and yet it has an older vibe. It's definitely not a 2020 beyond vibe, but I am having fun with it. So that got me thinking. They had other books, other girls, if you will, other dolls. And so I thought, let me go and look and see what I can find. So I found these two, and I picked them up. They were really inexpensive, and I thought, yeah, let's do this. So I found the Socialite and the Daydreamer, and really quickly, let me just show you. I mean, these are older, but so they have, each pad has sticky notes on the left. Now, not always thrilled with sticky notes because a lot of times they don't stick, quite frankly. However, we have this now, and so I thought of using them, basically turning them into stickers. Something like this remember one and jot it down, I thought would be really good for memory keeping. So I liked those. This collection's really quite pretty. The colors are vibrant, bright. You know, you've got your boxes, you've got some of these. Right? This is really old, but again, I felt like here, these are good for memory keeping. Same with these, a lot of these. And I like the scallops. One of their new collections that's out now, spring of 2025, has a lot of scallops. I know the Cottage Core has stickers that are scalloped and so forth. So they're bringing some of this back. I actually like the scallops. I think they're pretty cool. And again, some of these can be used in different ways. This is interesting. So if you don't have an hourly, this gives you an hourly for like your vertical layout. And I thought that would be really good in some ways for those days where, you know, we're all doing multiple things, right? And so when I'm trying to squeeze things in, writing, etc. Again, I like these. The color schemes in these books. Now, I know they also had a Faith Warrior girl. I think there's a trendsetter. There was a super mom or something about mom. These I'm always less thrilled with. These giant. They do these less now in the newer books, and I do have to say I do like that better. I'm also not as big on the checklist, but I have started to use them here and there. I like small boxes. I thought these were great. These little planners over here, I thought those were great. And here again, You see the scallops. So anyway, I don't mean to take so much time in this plan with me going through here, but you get the idea. And then we have trackers, and these are really pretty. I like the gold foiling. I really like that box. And then we have our socialite girls, and I'm glad that the Happy Planner makes them in a variety of, yeah, they're just different. Now I'm going to put this aside for a minute. I want to decorate in here first. So this is my an old mini book. And here's the Daydreamer. This is a much softer aesthetic in here, as you can see. I don't need that, but I really like it. Tea. See, this was made for me. Everything's always coffee, and I understand most people drink coffee, but it's always nice to see that. Movie nights, which we do. So I like that there. Lots of foiling. It's really, really pretty. So, for $20 and all, I got 2 really cute books. And sometimes you can find things that are smaller or less expensive. But I thought, I sold stuff, so it's always the same thing. Money in, money out. I always say that to my son. Money in, money out. I like these. We may use some of these today. I think we're going to use this book because I'm going to use some purple ink. So I think we will use this. I think this is cute too, right? Pitting, right? Circa 2015, I guess, 2017. Date nights, busy, long weekend. The Mannies. Again, these all say coffee, but I'm always tempted to somehow put something, like create something and have tea on there. They have more planners. I love these florals. I wouldn't use these in this small planner. This is cute. The bicycle. And there we have our Daydreamer girls. Alrighty, so let's get in here. Let's see here. This is this current week. I tend to decorate my months very similarly. What do I mean by that? If I'm inking in one spread, I'm going to ink in them all. And maybe that's dull for some people. Last month, I used old sticker kits that I had. It's kind of simple in here, but I mostly used old stickers that I was trying to use up. So this month is all about the inking. So I want to get in here, do a little bit of inking, and yeah, and I want to talk to you. Now, why do I come on here often and talk about things like, my tagline is always "You matter," right? Why do I talk about these things? Or I talk about wellness, and how you're feeling in this world. And in my faith videos, I certainly talk a lot, and I mean a lot, about what the world tries to do to you and who you really are. I think in many ways, I like the idea of hopefully uplifting people. And I'm not trying to preach. I'm not trying to, last week? I really went into why I dislike self-help books. I kind of went deep into it. But there's always purpose to what I'm coming up with. In many ways, it's like teaching. So I did do some research for today, as I said, and one article stood out to me. It was from Positive Psychology, and I cherry picked because I didn't, all of their ideas on your, they call it building self-esteem. You know what I'm going to call it instead? So being transparent here, they said one thing, I'm going in another direction. I don't know about building your self-esteem, but I want to remind you, I'm sorry, I'm having a trouble. Sometimes my voice isn't as strong as it needs to be. And I said it's Friday. It's actually Thursday. So I don't know. Getting confused here, aren't I? Sorry, friends. Friday, I have time. Maybe because I'm dreading Friday, we're going to be cleaning out the garage. So that's, nothing to look forward to. Okay, I digress. Anyway, I don't know that I'm working on your self-esteem. Most of us are of a certain age. I don't know that our self-esteem isn't, although it could be. It doesn't mean you're perfect and you're like, oh, I'm great. What I would say is this. I just think the world knocks us all the time. And that's a hard reality. It's harsh, Look at that. No bleed through. But I want to do the opposite, and I want you to leave my videos feeling creative, and just feeling good about your place in this world. And that's all I'm trying to do. I'm really not trying to preach and do all of that. I'm just trying to lift people up, which is what I used to do as a professor. I taught content. I taught academic skills. I also was leaning into teaching them life skills. It wasn't just about teaching history, okay? And that's very important to me because I think the world neglects our emotional intelligence, EQ as it's called. And EQ, I'm telling you right now, I do think we would be in a lot better spot if people had higher emotional intelligence. It's just my thought there. So what are some ways to feel better or to fight back? Especially, I have become myself, I thankfully, I really haven't had to wrestle with depression, but I'm noticing as I get older that the seasons affect me more. Seasonal kind of lack of sunshine. The winter was harsh. So how do you fight back against that? Okay, well, this mindfulness. I often have a candle. Now it's sunny today. I don't need the candle. And in fact, I'm going to have to buy some more soon. But practice. So the number one top suggestion is practice mindfulness. And what is mindfulness? If you're religious, you think, well, okay, that's kind of, But what I mean by that, whether you do it in terms of your religious practice, whether you do it in terms of your life, who you are, I wanted to suggest that mindfulness is, well, it can be anything you want it to be, but ultimately I look at it as spending time deliberately thinking about good things and lifting you up, like you are lifting yourself up, if you will. I think that's pretty important, to be honest with you. And so I would suggest that, here we go. Now let's put her up here. I would suggest that to practice mindfulness, little tricks and tips. I drink a lot of tea. Is that mindful? Sometimes it genuinely is. There are many times I take these teacups and if it's nice enough, I sit outside. If it's not, all the more so I need that tea to sit, to refocus, to really mentally talk myself through those moments that may be just a little bit difficult. So mindfulness it could be, what do you like? Do you like skincare? Do you like reading? Do you like library time? Library time is essential for me. I've worked in a library. I swear to you, as a kid, no lie, this is how, I don't know why I never became a librarian, truth be told, but I will leave it there. I used to know, even as a child, where my favorite authors were located in the school libraries and in the public libraries. I kid you not. Like, ladies, I'm a nerd, and that's okay. I embrace my nerddom. Better to know who you are instead of thinking you're somebody you're not, right? So, yes, I really feel like, here, let me bring you up. Okay, that's better. And I'm going to move my little candle, which I love. I don't know. I'm just saying mindfulness can be what you want it to be, but to be conscious of what you're doing, how you're doing it, things that matter to you, things that you want to do, etc. I think that's really, really important. So the number one thing to work on, how you're feeling in terms of the world, mindfulness. So I thought that was a good way to start this. Another point this article brought up, here we go. Oh, so many teas, so little time. Oh my goodness. Well, we need that, don't we? Yes. Yes, we do need that. It's not really purpley, but I kind of like that there. Another point the article brings up is something they call change your story. Okay, so this is where sometimes let me explain my interpretation of that, because I think sometimes I'm different than other people. Part of my story is that I have a chronic illness. I have scleroderma, which is an illness nobody has ever heard of course. So I got an illness nobody ever heard of. I've had it for my entire adult life and then beyond that. And so my goal has been for a very long time not to say too much about it to people. It's only within the last 5 years that I'm really opening up more about it. And that's partially because the pandemic, truthfully, the pandemic pushed me into action because I felt like I could help people by talking about it finally, because yeah, it's a lot. But as integral, as much as my illness is a part of my life, it's not my entire story. And that's really the reason, not partially, that's why for a long time, I didn't really want to discuss it too much, because I don't want people like, oh, you poor thing. No, I hate when people do that. They give you this look like, oh, you poor dear. No, I'm not a poor dear. This is who I am, and I accept it. People don't know how to react. To be fair, people don't know how to react to that. And more often than not, they've not heard of it, which is one thing. But the other side of that is just a feeling of people just don't get it. And that's not their fault. They don't have to get it. Okay? That's mine. That's on me. That's mine. No. So I just feel that for me personally, I don't like to say too much to people about it. That's just a personal preference. That's me. Does this make sense to you? I hope it does. Okay. So, yes, I keep changing my mind on everything today. Oh, we're just going to leave it. Sometimes you have to leave it be. So, I feel that changing your story could mean a lot of things. And one of the ways I look at our life stories is that we live through seasons. Okay, there's a season, I know Ecclesiastes / that song, Turn, Turn, Turn. There's a season for everything. I used to love playing the 60s music when I taught because that was like, best music ever. So I just feel that for us, we need to think about who we are. And that includes not thinking back and saying, well, I was this and I was that. Like, that's hard sometimes. You think, gosh, you blink. Sorry, I bonked the camera. You blink and suddenly, you have a child, your child's grown. You have a spouse, maybe they're no longer present. Or, there's so many. Yeah, you get what I'm saying, I hope. So, change your story to me doesn't mean change who you are or change what you do or change how you live. It simply means to me kind of embrace the now. I guess that would be a good way to say it. Kind of embrace the now. So I just wanted to share that with you because I think that's a rather important point we often miss. Embrace the now. I'm not 20 years old anymore. I don't look like I'm 20. I don't want to look like I'm 20. I don't want to be 20. Being 20 was hard. It just was. And so for me personally, I'm trying to embrace these moments now and not look backward instead of looking forward, if that makes sense. I think that makes better sense saying it that way. Kind of look at where you are now. And It's so easy to get lost in the comparisons of, um, well, I used to do X and now I can't, or things have changed so much. There's no way I can do X. Well, that's true, right? We all have that. Well, I can't do the things I used to do. However, I didn't have the knowledge and the wisdom and the foresight of where I am now. I'm stronger than I was then. I'm happier than I was then. And so that's the other side of it. You can't go back. You can't, part of me, well, there is somebody I know that I really love and adore, extended family. And I think that she spends a lot of time wishing things were different. And I love her. I'm not ragging on her, but I'm trying to say, hey, your life now is good. You've got good things going on. I want you to see how much you've done and how good you are and what all those good things. Does that make sense? So in the article, which, you know what, I can post the article down below. It says, change your story. Well, maybe, but let's do it in a way that makes sense for us. Does that help to explain what I'm saying? All right, let's move on. Number 3 is about comparing yourself to others. Obviously, you know what I'm going to say to that. But I want to add something in. I've talked on this channel before about people who level you. It's a Dr. Phil concept. So they talk themselves up or they talk you down to push themselves up. Either way, you end up on the bottom and somehow they end up in their mind on top. To not compare yourself to others can be hard, not in a stupid keeping up with the Joneses way. I never got that fully. Really, I didn't. But more in the way of, well, gosh. And you know people like this. Oh, that person over there has it easy and I'm struggling. Or that person, everything's simple for them and I'm just kind of going along here, and why is everything an uphill battle for me? You don't know what's going on behind closed doors. That's one of my favorite sayings now. You don't know the full story. You don't know what's going on behind closed doors, meaning there's more than meets the eye in everybody's life. And so, yeah, I just would say that remember you in everything, that you're doing the best you can at any given moment. I know you are. And even if you're not on day 1, on day 2 or 3, you'll roust yourself up and you'll continue to go. And so I think being younger, you get more caught in the comparison trap. At this stage of life, no, not so much. And you know what? I'll take it. I will take that any day because, again, with age comes wisdom. So, okay, keep going, right? So number 4 is, I want to put this one over here as color. Number 4 in the list that I took is move your body. Now, again, somebody who has a chronic illness, I have to tell you, my mobility was supposed to be a lot worse than it is. I'm so grateful it's not what it could have been. And so in that sense, nope, don't like it. In that sense, I think I've done very well. Does it mean everything's foolproof? No, it doesn't. And so you do what you can. And to that end, this is so cute. To that end, I suggest work with your body where it is at the moment. And when I say that to you, I genuinely mean sometimes I can do a lot of yoga. I'm really working on my balance in my yoga. So sometimes I just, dig in and I can do it. Sometimes I can't, and I do a slower, just stretching. I've done enough yoga now. This is kind of cool. I didn't think this would happen. and I love that it has happened. I can do yoga without watching a yoga video now. I know enough poses to do that. And so some days that's just what I do. Just what I do. I just like, okay, this is what I can do. And so, yeah, I want you to think about, you know, just being and move your body can be what you can I do at this given moment. Okay, I think we're done with this deco. I want to deco the other one, and then we're going to write in here. I think that would be the best move. So let me switch it out. I like this. Now it's a little different than this one, but I like that they're different, and here, see, I did use the Glam Girl, and then I used some of the Paris sticker book. I like this. I really would like to get more the hexagons, different shapes like that. Okay, so now this is this adorable little thing I bought last year at Dollar Tree. I think it was. Here's some of my new sticker sheets from the Fat Cat Designs. Let's see what else I've gotten here. These are some freebies. Like, I just figured out putting them all in here makes perfect sense, doesn't it? Here's some of the older ones, so maybe we'll use some of those. I love this little container. And I think it was my mom who said that Dollar Tree's now going to be $1.50 tree, as it were. And I think we can use some of the scallop boxes in here. So why do I use both of these planners? If you're new, let me briefly explain. One works with the other. This I carry with me, and this is, it goes everywhere. The other one I picked up to use as the everyday planner, and it was just, I don't like toting discs around, so I don't. And I don't. And so, here we are. This is the freebie that came with this. It's really cute, isn't it? I mean, so let me show you real quick some of the new stickers. So I did a short on them, but we have strawberry picking, we have cooking, we have road tripping, which I love. Sushi. I love sushi. Strawberry patch, so that these two go together. A carnival. I thought this was so cute. I love her characters. Jenny's Shop and Binge Watching. That is me. Okay, so we may use some of these strawberries, and then here's some of the older ones too. Last week, I think I did Coffee Monster, and then some other, I added in some different things here, some happy planners. So let's just play with this a little bit. Okay, so let's see, I have my list. So number 5 on the list, now don't balk. I'm with you on this more than you realize. It's a painful one to do. Practice forgiveness. Okay. Yes, I know. Not always easy. People make that difficult with their actions and everything else. They make it difficult. But let's chat about that a moment. Can we please? Because I think it is essential. Practicing forgiveness doesn't mean you forget. Okay, there's a difference. What practicing forgiveness looks like for each of us can be different, but the idea is letting go. So it's not forgetting, but it's moving past and forgiving. And you know what, friends? I'm going to be honest with you. This is hard, but I have started to do something that is working for me. So I would like to help you see if it could work for you as well. When I go to church, sometimes I watch church online, sometimes I go to church. When I attend church in person, I receive Holy Communion and you go back to your pew. Okay. What I then will do is I will sit there for a few and just think to myself, okay, I will lift up different family members in prayer. I like to do that. I like to, okay. But then I will also pick someone who I'm not terribly fond of, to be very blunt with you, somebody who I'm not happy with, and I lift them up. It's painful sometimes. I don't always like doing it, but I do lift them up. And the reason I do that is because I feel it's really, really incredibly important to do this. Again, friends, believe me, I don't necessarily like doing it, but I also know that by forgiving them, I will in turn be forgiven. I hope this makes sense to you. I know that by lifting somebody else that I'm not particularly fond of, and I'm being kind saying it that way, in the end, that makes my life better. Does that make sense? I hope it does. So that's a tough one. No lie. You know it's a tough one. But I would like to suggest take a little time when you can, however you can, and you know, try to lift people up where you can. It's not easy. It's not always fun, but it is the right thing. Actually, we're going to move this here. It's the right thing to do. And so I would suggest that as hard as it is, recognize that you're actually helping yourself by doing that. Oh, I know it's hard. Believe me. All right, I had to pause a minute. Don't ask. Okay. Anyway, so practicing forgiveness is probably one of the toughest things we face, one of the toughest things we do, but it's necessary. So I just wanted to kind of add that in here and remind you of that fact. So finally, what's the last one? Oh, well, this kind of goes along with the whole changing your story idea. You are not your circumstances, right? So what I mean by that, or what I think the article is saying, that, you know, we go up, we go down, life goes up, life goes down. And I think that's so true. And I think it's important to see that and to know that more often than not, things will pass. Some things don't. Grief, it gets easier, but you'll always grieve people you've lost, or, you know, people who have moved on and haven't included you in their moving on. All of these, this is all, you know, yeah, it's part and parcel of some of this. So when I think you are not your circumstances, if you're dealing with depression or sadness and so forth, that's not all there is to you. And you may be in a tough spot at the moment, but that doesn't mean you're going to stay there, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And so know that and try to hang on to that as best as you can. And believe me, I know sometimes that's so far easier said than done. But just being honest here, it's important for your own sense of self. Whew. So yes, once again, I've done a TED Talk, right, without trying. I guess my main thing is, again, trying to lift you and to remind you that you matter and you're important. And, you know, this world can do a number on all of us, but we're going to continue to just do our best to shine and not let it bring us down too far if it's possible. Let me try this again. Yeah, these are so cute. Oh my gosh. I love her shop. A little strawberry patch here, and we're just going to put some strawberries there. Okay, I think we've done pretty well. So I straightened this box. I added that in. And now what I used to do, okay, so I sound like I'm, you know, what I used to do, right? Like I said, don't do that. I would write everything out in here and then I would put it in here. Now I'm doing the opposite. I do this first, then I do that. So we're going to move things out of the way. I love these so much. And let's get busy, friends. Alrighty, friends. I was starting to write oh, never mind. People came to the door. I had to deal with that. Okay, let's try this again. So then I just sat down and wrote everything and figured I would catch you up now. So Mondays and Tuesday are busy. I have different meetings, one Monday and a Zoom meeting on Tuesday. I'm going to be working on this email listserv I'm trying to get up and running. The landing page is like a lot of work, but I'm getting there. I normally don't put my goal stuff in here, but I really need to focus in on Thursday. So I put that there. Friday will be an errands day, focusing on self-care Saturday. And it's going to be about health. So a lot of stretching, steps, exercise, nutrition, things like that. And then Sunday's church. And I love these stickers. I think they're so cute. Yeah, this looks really good. And then taking the larger picture. So I kept the rest of this blank. I usually use Mondays for catch up if I'm not working. Tuesday, the meeting, exercise. I have more I want to put there. Take notes. Sometimes I am, meetings are a lot. And after working in higher ed for decades, meetings and email can be overwhelming. And sometimes I drift a little. So I'm going to keep myself focused. Working on projects in the morning and some laundry and stuff, meal planning, cleaning, the easy version of cleaning downstairs, maybe date night, either date night, dinner out or dinner in, but it's going to be date night. Library, weekend prep, self-care, and then face study and Sunday dinner. And then I always just put something happy there. So that's how this matches this, right? That's how I use these planners. I hope my little list, and just to recap really quick, work on mindfulness and cheering yourself up in small ways. Aromatherapy is great, candles, cheerful music, podcasts that maybe elevate you, change your story, meaning realize that you may be one thing, but it's not who you are the rest of your life, I guess. Don't compare to others. I think more to the point is recognize where you are and be grateful for that. Practice gratitude would be a good way to counter that in some ways. Move your bodies however you can, even if it's 5 minutes of stretching. In a chair, it makes a difference. There's chair aerobics. There's all kinds of, I think my parents are doing chair Tai Chi, and I think that sounds really good and relaxing. Number 5, practice forgiveness. I talked to you about how hard that was. And number 6, you are not your circumstances. And things may be down right now, but that doesn't mean you're down for life. And so that's what I've got for you today. Just an old-fashioned plan with me with a side of encouragement. I hope I lifted you up today. Spending time with you lifts me up. I need you to know that. And excuse me, I hope you like these new, to me, sticker books. And it's just, sometimes you find these old things and you make them new again. And I like that. I guess I'm kind of in a season of repurposing. Speaking of which, tomorrow is Friday, so I will be doing a faith video tomorrow for Sunday. And it's all about repurposing and learning new things. And maybe that's a good theme for this week. Thanks so much for spending time with me, friends. Goodness knows I appreciate you. Have a good day, planner friends. Grab your tea or coffee and just be you. Bye now.